Hey, Happy New Year! We've made it to 2020. Yes. All right. Happy New Year, guys. It's January 1st. It's the beginning of the year. Oh, it feels good. It feels good. 2019 was interesting, to say the least. I learned a lot, just in general through my studies and all that stuff, but I learned a lot of lessons. Yeah, 2019. I can breathe because it's done. We're moving into 2020. So, welcome to the new year, the new decade. How have you guys been? It's been a few weeks since we've been together. You know, with our regular Wednesday night 7:30 show. How have you guys been? How was your holiday? Did you get some great presents for Christmas? Did you give some great presents for Christmas? What did you guys do? How did it go? I've been seeing a lot of different posts on Facebook about 2020 and it being the year of perfect vision and clarity. Because the 2020, as far as the eyes are concerned, 2020, what you see, and seeing 2020 also as a way of looking at life, and the new year being for doubles of things, so double portion, double blessings, all of that stuff. So I'm just really excited. I can feel the excitement of everybody around about this new year and this new decade and what's going to happen and what blessings are coming. So I'm excited to be in that environment and be in that energy. And to that end, tonight I wanted to talk about your year of pleasure. So if you saw my post on Instagram, and if you haven't followed me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. It's at dr.brandymd. And on Instagram, I had posted on there, let's make 2020 your year of pleasure. And I want to talk about that tonight and how to make that happen. And it's easier than you think to make 2020 your year of pleasure. So, strap in. It's time to get started and make this your year. So, as you know, I am Dr. Brandye, board certified OBGYN and women's libido coach, and I teach women how to feel good in and out of the bedroom and how to get their sexy back. And like I said, tonight we are talking about your year of pleasure. So, what has been your experience of pleasure? When you think about the word pleasure, what does that mean to you? For some people, it seems to be something that has to be over the top and has to be, a whole lot of things that fall into place in order for them to feel pleasure and to have pleasure. But pleasure can be just something as simple as sitting on your couch with a cup of tea and a nice blanket and a good book. That can be pleasure. It doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It doesn't have to be anything that is over the top. Just the little things that you engage in, the things that you invite in, can give you pleasure. And the great part about that is that you can build on that pleasure, and it can show up in other areas, namely the bedroom, which is what I like to talk about. But it can show up in other areas as well. So don't think that pleasure has to be this big, extravagant thing. It can be something simple, and you can continue to do just small, simple acts, and it can build on that pleasure that you are experiencing in your life. So again, like I said, when most people think of pleasure, they think of these big, extravagant things. They think, oh, well, I don't have the time for it. I don't have the money for it. I can't, break away and do these things to really experience pleasure in my life. And so tonight, I wanted to give you a strategy for being able to incorporate pleasure into your life for the whole rest of the year. How does that sound? I think that sounds great because I would love to have pleasure all the time. Um, and like I said, it is little things. It doesn't have to be big things. It also doesn't have to necessarily be the things that you would think of we normally think of. Oh, if we're treating ourselves and we're doing pleasurable things for ourselves, like pedicures and massages. Although they do deserve a place on the list. So don't get it twisted. You can have those things on the list, but there are other things that you can do and put on the list that will definitely make life better for you. So first thing I like to do when I'm talking with someone about pleasure and inviting that pleasure into their life is just to think about what it is that brings you pleasure. A lot of times we get so caught up in our routine and what we're doing and just making it through the day that it's very difficult for us to connect with what it is that we like. Sometimes we have totally forgotten what things light us up and give us pleasure. For me, a lot of times singing is a good pleasurable activity for me. I can just sing my heart out and it feels so good. Or I can be listening to my favorite music and dancing. Those are things that bring me pleasure. But for a long time I didn't do those things, and I didn't realize that I was missing those things. And it is now back, and I'm able to partake in those activities and get that sense of pleasure again. But sometimes we can forget, and that's not a great place to be in if you are forgetting what you like, forgetting what makes you feel good, forgetting what brings you pleasure. So the first step is just to identify those things that make you feel good, the things that light you up, the things that make you excited. And for me, I usually will write out things in a format called a mind map. And essentially, I start with a blank page. I love blank pages for this. Not so much for writing, but for this part, it's great. And I just write on there, what it is that I am focusing on. And I did a mind map for you guys just so I could demonstrate what I'm talking about. But for this particular mind map, my theme was 2020 pleasure. And I just threw out ideas of different things that I want to do, that I'd like to do. So this is my mind map, and you can see on there's quite a few bubbles, but this is the main bubble, 2020 pleasure, and then all the things around it. Now, there are some things on there that are simple and easy to do. There's some things on there that take some coordination and will take more money and time and effort. But the most important part is I got it all on the page. So once you have it all on the page, then the second step is to go back to that page and look and see what you can feasibly do in the next 365 days. So on here, I've got good music. I can listen to good music every day. So, and it's free. I don't have to worry about that. Versus, taking a girls trip. Well, I got to figure out which girls are going with me and what's the destination and accommodations and flights and all that stuff. So that takes a little bit more planning. So when I'm looking at the things that are on the list, I'm picking out the things that I think I can feasibly do in the next year. Right. I have on here a pole dancing class. I can feasibly do that this month because I have two more classes that I can take with a pole dancing studio. So I can make that happen this month. I put on here dressing up more often over the last couple months, I've had to be dressed up for different things, different events, photo shoots, things like that. And it really feels good. It feels good to dress up. It feels good to put on nice clothes and get your hair done and have on makeup. So I want to do more of that this year. So I'm going to put some spots in there where I'm just like, you know what? This is a dress up day. We're going to dress up and we'll make it happen. What can you do? You just make it happen. I want to do some trips to the beach. I love being by the ocean. I don't necessarily have to get in the ocean, but I like being by the ocean and hearing the waves crash against the shore and just being in that environment. It really does relax me and helps me to think and sort through things. So I want some more trips to the beach because I think I only went one time this year. And it's not that far away, so I could do it. So I'm going to put some more trips to the beach in there. All right. So that's just an example, some examples for what I find pleasurable. Oh, I did put on there sensual showers. And essentially that is just me lighting candles, playing good music, and really enjoying the sensations in the shower. So just enjoying the hot water hitting my body, enjoying, the smell of my body wash, just enjoying the heat of the water, those kinds of things. So it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. 10 minutes, 15 minutes in the shower, do your thing and enjoy that and let that be your pleasure for the day. You can do it. All right. So first you make your list. This is what we're doing so you can have a year of pleasure. This is your year of pleasure. So you want to make a list of the things that give you pleasure. Next, you want to pick out those things that you can feasibly do in the next 365 days. And for some, you may have to flesh them out. Like for me, I put travel on there. But I don't know if that's going to be an international trip. I don't know if that is just going to be like one big international trip or if it's going to be several smaller trips throughout the states and close by. Because I've seen a couple places that are within the states that I'm like, oh, that would be nice to go to. So we'll figure that part out, but just put that out there. Okay, travel, but you may need to flesh out where you're going, when you're going to go, that kind of thing. So make your list, pick out what you can feasibly do, and then pull out your calendar and look at the calendar and figure out, okay, when could I do this? When can I do that? Would this be a good time to do a family trip together? Would this be a good time to take a solo trip and go do X, Y, and Z? I want to go to Bali, and I want to go by myself. I don't want to go with my daughter. I don't want to go with family. I just want to go by myself. So, just looking at when would be a good time to do that. For me, that might be around the time of my birthday, in September. So that is kind of the energy that I'm putting out there. So just looking at your calendar to try to figure out where can you put things. And also keeping in mind the financial commitments, time commitments, and things like that. For me, for work, I have to have my schedule, submitted and my availability and things submitted about 5 months in advance. So right now, I think the last one I've submitted was April. Yeah. So you got to think about these things so that you can plan accordingly and plan for work and things like that. Plan around school schedules and all of that stuff too. All right. So now that you have your list, and you've picked out the things that you want to do, and you've looked at the calendar to see where things can go, and you've kind of gotten an idea of about how much it's going to cost, which you can Google things and all of that and get, basic costs out there. Next, you want to then start to lay the groundwork for these things happening. So for me, if I'm going out to the beach, I want to make sure that, okay, I know where my beach chairs are, my beach towel, my umbrella, and all of the things that I need or I take out there when I go. And if it's not one of those, okay, I'm going to be lounging by the beach, I'm just going to the beach to, clear my head, think, enjoy the good energy of the ocean. Just making sure I have a scarf for my hair because it's windy out by the beach where I live, or make sure I have a jacket or a sweater or something like that. So just thinking about the details and then starting to lay the groundwork so that you are taking steps and taking baby steps, and then sometimes bigger steps to get to the things that you want to do. So I hope this was helpful for you. Definitely leave some comments below to let me know what things are on your list for your year of pleasure and what you plan to do. If you are watching this on the replay, definitely put hashtag replay in the comments, and then just let me know what you are excited for 2020. And as I always say, sharing is caring. So if you know someone who could benefit from hearing this message, definitely share this video. And if you are a woman who is wanting to add more pleasure to your life, I'd love to talk to you. That's another thing that's on my list, is talking more about sex and pleasure. That is what really lights me up and makes me excited. So I am definitely interested in talking to you. If you are open to that, you can go to drbrandymd.com and sign up for a strategy session with me. And we will talk about how to get your sexy back, how to bring that pleasure back for you for this year and beyond. All right. So I am Dr. Brandye, board certified OBGYN and women's libido coach, and I teach women how to get their sexy back and how to feel good in and out of the bedroom. So here's to your year of pleasure. Comment down below. Let me know what you're going to be doing. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.